which is very valid. I believe that the indigenous people, they deserve to be listened to, they deserve to be attended to, and they have also been able to be educated, they know their rights, and they've been able to speak up because they're educated, so the government have come to their aid, and still more work to be done, definitely. In same vein, I also feel that the government also needs to pay attention, listen, to the minority groups, those microaggressions at workplace, in the school, the labeling, the tags, all of those things, um, why certain professions you barely see a black person there. I mean, there are a couple of professions out there where even in the university or in the colleges, you don't see that. Is it that blacks don't like the job at all, or is it that there's a cutoff mark that they never get to? Why is it that we barely we go to the clinics and we're trying to get to see a doctor, and you do like 2 hours, you haven't seen the doctor, and yeah, there are a lot of immigrant doctors who are here, but they cannot practice. Why? Because of the hurdles that you have to go through, to be able to practice here. And that's why you hear some of them even have to leave the country, go back home. And mind you, they already sold their lands, their properties, and they came here, you also bringing their families here. And yet, they are 10 years, he's still, I'm like, yo, bro, haven't you passed years? I haven't, man. Like, you should be practicing by now. They've been here 10 years. What's going on?
Mhm,
Like, you begin
mhm,
to wonder, is this guy cursed? Like, is there
mhm.
some juju back
Is there
home,
something
or
going on? Yeah.
is there
Is there
something,
something going on?
so there's a level that the stress gets to, you begin to act like a madman. And so that's why you see it trickles down to domestic abuse at home, because the the relationship is being fractured because when they are not getting what they want, they're not even getting paid, and relationship is affected. What happens to it, to the power of money or finances. Money can make or break a relationship. It amplifies a relationship that is doing well, and it can actually kill it. So there's a lot of factors. If you look at this in every angle, you can see that. Um, it's such an important thing that the government needs to look into this thing, find a way to address these silent discriminations or microaggressions that our people are going through. Well, like I said, this is not my turf, this is not my field, but I haven't been here for a while. I have seen things myself. I have seen my friends go through stuff. I've seen people that I care about go through for. I've served in the community here as well, in the association here as well. So I've seen a few things, but I know that also that the government is strong, but I believe that they can do better. So I'll just push it to you, Oge. You, can you please share more light on this and the factors, please?
Okay. there's something you said about people having suicidal ideation within the community. And before you get to suicidal ideas, or maybe actually planning, having suicidal plans in place,
Mm,
because ideas is one stage, then the next stage is putting plans in place. It means you've decided you're going to do it. It's just a matter of time. So what people don't understand is before somebody gets to that level, they've been going through a lot.
mm,
A microaggression in the workplace and racial discrimination, they are linked to negative mental health outcomes like chronic stress, anxiety, depression, substance
mhm,
use disorder. We are talking about people taking hard drugs, people taking weed, experimenting with different kinds, people taking street drugs, LSD, Molly, mushroom. The list is endless.
mhm,
People taking alcohol abuse, and people just doing stuff. And we're also talking about other kind of addiction, like people addicted to pornography. Because all these are escapes. People are looking for something to take them away from what the issues are. They're looking for some kind of distraction, some kind of escape. And then and there's something again called PTSD. This is when you are being exposed again and again and again to this traumatic event, to the point that you are becoming hyper vigilant, you are becoming stressed out, you are thinking about it all day. It comes in, some people, they are even having nightmares. Some people, they get so scared if they're going to work because they don't know if that nasty buzz will be there. Some people have that. It is a fear. And they cannot leave this job because they need the income. And then somebody might get to a point, they will say, you know what? Why am I doing this? That is where the suicidal ideation start getting into the head, right? And that is why, like somebody like me, I'm very passionate about suicide prevention, shouting at the rooftop. If you start thinking about, if I sleep now and I didn't wake up now, maybe all my problems will go away. That is a sign that you get help before it goes from having the ideas to actually believing that you can do it and to actually have plans in place. So please, because I want us to, as we're talking about these issues facing our community, I want us to also see the mental health implication of this. Okay? So how do you take care of yourself? You said something about if there are laws in place, if there are things to do. How can somebody know what to do when they are like almost 100% when it comes to stress? They don't. So that is why sometimes I advocate some of you that are working, some of you have benefits where you have coverages for counseling, for mental health therapy, for mental health counseling. Please use those benefits. If you don't use it, the company does not save it in your account. It goes back to the company. These are your benefits. Use it. If you have massage therapy benefits, please use it. Go for massage therapy. This is how you practice self-care. If you have physiotherapy, please use it. Don't leave it there. Your children have it. Take your children, get a space, go get that massage, go get that physiotherapy. This is part of your self-care routine. This is how you take care of your body. And then the therapy is how you take care of your mind. And then there's something called, like in Alberta here, I don't know what it's called in other provinces, there's something called Workers' Compensation Board. Some people go to work, they don't even know what are their benefits, what are they entitled to. Please take your time, read about your company, the company you work with, and figure out what are they connected to WCB, Workers' Compensation Board, or call WCB and verify if your company is affiliated to them. Figure out what your rights are, because workplace macroaggression is also considered toxic work culture. You could be compensated for that, but you have to understand your rights to know what you're entitled to. If you're able to document that I'm coming to work and the workplace is toxic, it is toxic enough that it is affecting my mental health. I cannot think, I cannot sleep, I cannot concentrate, and you can document these things. If you file a report, you can get compensation from Workers' Compensation Board, because that is what the place is for. The workplace should be a place that is nurturing, that allows you to become effective and efficient in your work. If your workplace is creating stress and there are evidence to support your claim, you can lay claim against that company that is doing that to you. But how do you get to a space where you understand this thing, where you are going through a lot of stress on your own? So that is why I say we should have conversation about these things, so we understand yes, the system is not working sometimes, but there are some things in place that is supposed to protect everybody. But you have to understand what that is and take advantage of that. And then when you're going through stress at work, or you're experiencing any kind of racial trauma, racial discrimination, please don't take it out on your wife. Don't take it out on your husband. Don't take it out on your children. Have a family meeting and have the conversation. This is what I'm going through. Sometimes if you're talking to me, I'm not responding. I am not ignoring you. This is just my own way of controlling myself, so I don't say what I'm not supposed to say. Just have that conversation so the family understands you. But there's a need for us to start having honest and open conversation with our family, within the family. Because the family, at the end of the day, It is what it's ours. It is the one that we own. It is the one that belongs to us. If we cannot be honest in those spaces, where will you be honest? So I encourage people to talk, have conversation that is honest, have conversation that is hard. Some people, they don't know how to have hard conversation,
Yeah.
right? Please sit down, listen. If somebody talk, listen to understand. Don't listen to react. Everything is not war. Everything is not combat. Listen to understand. If somebody is talking nonsense, listen to understand. If you don't understand more, ask question. Be curious. Maintain curiosity and get to understand. Even your children sometimes, if you have a child that is very lively, that is very outgoing, and you're noticing the child is withdrawn, the child is not talking to anybody, find out what that child, find out. Don't say, oh, I don't know what is wrong with this boy. I don't know what it, maybe that child is being bullied in school.
Mm.
Maybe that child is going through racial. It's not just the adults going through this. Children are going through that too. Maybe a bunch of other kids are coming together to make fun of this child's African name, or make fun of this child, or maybe the child is a bit overweight. Maybe they are making fun of his weight or her weight. You don't know these things. Having honest conversation with your children helps.
Yeah,
Maybe
for
that child
sure.
is being beaten up. Maybe that child is being beaten up in school. So
Yeah.
having conversation is very important. So we don't end up being a place where what we do is walk, 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 walk. Because there's something you said the men are not always home. The women are not always home too. The man is working night, the woman is working day. The man is going out, the woman is coming in. The woman is coming in, the man is going out. The children are practically left to be by themselves. And we
Yeah.
have children now growing up. They don't know what boundaries are. They don't know anything.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. I just want us to. My hope is that we'll continue to have conversation that is hard. These conversations are not easy. It is hard, but it is what we should have. Because if you ask the average person that came here, they'll say, I came here for my children. I came here to give my children a better life. And then those ones that have been here like 20, 30, 40, 30, 40 years, you see them, their children are all grown, and their children are not doing well. And there's a part of me that is wondering, you said you came here for your children, and your children are not doing well. What happened? Because I'm not saying that because I'm trying to say you didn't do a good job. I am curious because I want to know if you did anything wrong that I can learn from. Because I want, if I'm here to sacrifice, if I'm sacrificing a lot for my children, I want my children to excel.
Mm.
If there's any barriers in place that will make them not to, I want to know what that is. I want to clear it out of their part.
Yeah.
That is why it is important for us to have conversation, hard conversation, ask questions so that we can start doing better, not just for ourselves, but for our community. We want our community to come together and start recording progress individually and collectively.
For sure. For sure. For sure. It's super important. No one, no one whose intention of coming, doing all that they went through, abandoning their high-paying jobs, um, or for whatever reason, they, maybe the security issues from the country that they came from. Oftentimes, that's what it is. Sometimes because of the security issue, they even abandon their high-paying jobs to come here. And so a lot of people come under like humanitarian services, humanitarian the grounds, and that's why they come here. Different reasons. But I could tell,
Mhm.
just like you said, that ever not. I mean, to a large extent, when you speak with people out there, they say, "Hey, listen, the real reason that I am in this part of the world or in this country is because of my kids." So, like you said, what's then the point that you do all that you do and the kids are abandoned such that they now grow up like kids that do not have parents, that are kids that are not parented? At the end of the day, if you're not even careful, the government, the services ends up snatching your child away from you, you know,
Mhm.
after all the three jobs that you went through to pay for this or pay for that, at the end of the day, the child ends up becoming their child.
Mhm.
Like in practical, you don't have access to them. And there's a lot of ways that people are being, a lot of trauma that people are receiving from this, a lot of um, wrong labels and sufferings that people are going through, So I think it's something very important. That's why you are saying, hey, listen, it's important that we have conversations along these lines, and it's important that we have an organized body, an organized setup that actually addresses this and conveys the message to the government, and such that a real, very serious NGO that is able to pilot these conversations and these concerns, and present it before the government. I think it's something super important. As a matter of fact, I'd like to read a statistic that I have to, because like I said to you, I know and have experienced some form of um, racism, discrimination, and all of that. But I just like to work with facts, you know.
Mhm.
And so I'm just gonna read something that I have here, with this with regards to Canada.
Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
it says
Go ahead.
In Canada, immigrants and minorities face significant challenges due to microaggression and discrimination. Here are some key statistics. It says
Mhm.
prevalence of discrimination. It says, should I read this one or should I read this other one? Let me see. Okay, let me read this other one. It says experience of discrimination. It says, let me even, yeah, let me just read this one. It says 54%, 54,
Wow.
54,
54%.
yeah, 54% of Black Canadians are reported experiencing discrimination, with 41% citing skin color or race as the reason.
Mm.
46% of Black people in Canada aged 15 and older have experienced some form of discrimination between 2014 to 2019.
Mm.
70% of Black individuals who experienced discrimination reported it happened more than once. Now
Mm.
let's talk about that in the sphere of education. Black students are more likely to be expelled or drop out of high school than white kids. In
Mm.
Toronto, Black students are up to 4 times as likely to be expelled as white students. Black students
Mm.
are up to 4 times as likely to be expelled. Employment:
Mm.
81% of Black professionals experience racism or microaggressions in the workplace.
Mm.
Black women are 10% more likely to experience workplace racism than Black men.
Mm.
Racialized Canadians earn 80 cents per dollar compared to non-racialized colleagues.
True.
Healthcare and policing.
Mhm.
Black women are 3 times less likely to have a family doctor than non-racialized women.
Mm.
Black males are 3 times more likely to be stopped by the police in Toronto than other groups. This is
Mm.
just Toronto, taking Toronto
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
case study,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So the black males are 3 times more likely to be stopped by police in Toronto
Mhm.
than other groups. Housing and income. 20.6% of Black Canadians reported living in housing below standards. Black
Mhm.
Canadians are 2.8 times more likely to experience food
Food insecurity.
insecurity.
Plus.
So these statistics highlight the pervasive nature of anti-Black racism in Canada, affecting various aspects of life, from education, employment, to healthcare, and even housing. So there are facts on ground that uh, definitely portrays what the minorities are going through